Smiley Faces, this is Rolling Molly, and you're watching Accessible Entertainment. Today I am reviewing the accessibility of Universal Orlando Resorts for guests who are traveling with their service animals. I will be going over what you should do when making a reservation at one of their Lowe's resorts. I'll also be going over which rides your furry companion can go on and where the release stations are located throughout two of their parks. I will not be reviewing Volcano Bay today because I have yet to visit that park. I will make a separate video and upload it at a later date. Before we get started, I do want to go over the difference between a service animal and emotional support animal, because Universal Orlando Resorts only allows service animals to go into the parks with their owners. Emotional support animals are not allowed inside of their parks. So what's the difference? Under the ADA, or the Americans with Disability Act, a service animal is defined as a dog that is trained to perform a specific task that assists the owners with their particular disabilities. Examples would be a guide dog for those who are blind, a dog that can alert its owners of changes in blood sugar levels, or a dog that can retrieve items for an owner who might drop them or can't pick them up themselves. An emotional support animal is the animal that provides comfort to its owners. Because it hasn't been trained to perform a specific task like one of the ones I've mentioned before, it does not qualify as a service animal. It can be tricky to tell the difference between the two when it comes to someone who suffers from anxiety. An emotional support animal is there to provide comfort for the owner when they're having an anxiety attack. If the dog has been trained to sense the anxiety attack and help prevent it or lessen it, it qualifies as a service animal. Establishments like restaurants and theme parks are only allowed to ask two questions in accordance with the ADA. Is the service animal required because of a disability? And has the service animal been trained to perform a specific task in relationship to your disability? I personally do not have a service animal, but I found all this information on the ADA government website. I will leave a link in the description box down below because it does have additional information that you might find useful in regards to the ADA and service animals. Now all that boring legal stuff is out of the way, on the Universal Orlando Resort itself. If you're staying on property at one of the Lowe's Resorts hotels, you will want to call ahead when making a reservation to let them know that you will be traveling with a service animal. They will ask you if it's a service animal or an emotional support animal just to make sure that you get the right realm. If you're traveling with an emotional support animal or a personal pet, you will be restricted to one of three resorts. That would be Royal Pacific, Sapphire Falls, or the Hard Rock Resort. Service animals, though, are welcome at all resorts, and you're not restricted to a certain type of route. There are a few things that you want to keep in mind and want to know when you make a reservation with your service animal. There will be a $100 fee, and there might be some additional taxes or fees, but when you're making a reservation, they will let you know about all of that up front. Also, you will be limited to 2 service animals per room. So if you're traveling in a group and there's more than 2 furry companions, you will have to make multiple room reservations. Your service animal will also receive a welcome package. Inside will be a special name tag or ID. There will be a bowl and also some treats. They do have pet beds available if you need one and you didn't pack it. They also have a chef on hand for room service that makes specific meals just for service animals. So if you want to leave the dry kibble at home and treat your pet to a special meal, they've got you covered. The service animals are allowed to go anywhere in the resort as long as they're with you, leashed, and under control. As I mentioned before, Universal Orlando Resort only allows service animals inside the park, and emotional support animals are not allowed. And like the resort hotels, your service animal must be leashed and under your control at all times. Before you enter the parks, you will have to go through security. I personally would recommend going through the wheelchair stroller queue line. The X-ray machine is slightly larger and would make it a little bit easier for you and your furry companion to walk through together at the same time. After going through security, you'll find yourself in City Walk. Now, I did find it strange that City Walk does not have any official relief stations inside, but they are connected directly with the parking lot, and there's plenty of natural areas for your service animal to relieve themselves. Your service animals, as you would expect, are welcomed in all of the restaurants and in the shops, but also they must be leashed and under your personal control at all times. Now, before you get started in any of the parks, I would highly recommend that you pick up two things. The first will be the park map. They do have marked on there where all the release stations are. And then also I would recommend that you pick up the guide for rider safety and accessibility. There is a plethora of information located inside. It has what rides your service animals can go on and which ones they can't. It also provides additional information for different types of disabilities. After you get through City Walk, you'll have your choice to go to one of the two theme parks. I'm going to start with the Universal Studios Park, which will be on your right. Just like City Walk, service animals are welcomed in all of the restaurants and shops. There are two service relief animal stations in Universal Studios. The first one is in the middle of the park in Central Park, and then the second one is further back into the park in between the Fear Factor Live stage and the Men in Black ride. Something that I find truly amazing about the theme parks, Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, is exactly how many rides your service animal can actually join you on. That would be Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, E.T.'s Adventure, Fast and the Furious Supercharged, The Hogwarts Express, Kudos and Cons, Twirl and Hurl, Transformers 3D, Shrek 4D, and The Simpsons ride. That is a total of 9 rides. For the other rides, your furry companion will have to wait for you in one of the crates. The crates are in a private, employee-only room off to the side. That way, no strangers will be around your animal, and they will be completely safe. You will have to take your service animal to the back room and put them in the crate yourself, because for the safety of everyone, park employees are not allowed to handle your service animal. Now for Islands of Adventure. There are 3 relief stations in this park. The first one is in Seuss Landing behind the One Fish, Two Fish ride. The second is behind the Mystic Fountain, which is in the far corner of the park. And the third one is by Dr. Doom's Fearfall in their Superhero Island. Again, there is an impressive number of rides that your service animal can join you on. That would be the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, the Carousel, One Fish, Two Fish, High in the Sky Trolley Ride, the Camp Jurassic area, Me Ship the Olive, Skull Island Reign of Khan, and finally Storm Force Acceleratron. So overall, I do find Universal Orlando Resorts, the hotels, and the parks to be extremely service animal friendly. I was just completely blown away by the number of rides that your furry companion can join you on, because it always makes it a better ride for you if you can keep your buddy with you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any further updates, like the Volcano Bay review I'm going to do in just a couple weeks. And don't forget to share with your friends and family, because it will help my channel grow. If you want to help even more, you can always hop on over to Patreon and support me over there. And as always, this has been Rolly Molly, and rolling out.